It's basically random trees out here. It's almost, I don't want to call it a marsh, but with it being Iowa, it's kind of a marsh. And it's fairly dry right now, but we've had some rain, so the grass is wet. But I'm working my way to a pond that I want to hunt over, and there's a lot of sign that I've found. So I got to one of these little tree islands, and I think they're locust trees. They're pretty thorny, but what's important is that it's just this sea of grass, like I said. And then I came to this tree right here, and it's fairly rubbed up. It's definitely old. I mean, it's August right now, so nothing's rubbing right now. But you can see the dead in there on the ground, and right here, something's definitely bedding in here. To me, this screams buck bedding. Not sure what wind he'd have this on. I think he'd be looking from the bed over my shoulder this way towards the camera, which would be towards the pond, and you'd catch anything coming through the way I just walked. So I'm gonna keep moving. I'm liking the sign so far. Every little cove of trees I've come to has significant sign of buck bedding and buck movement. Right here is about elbow height for me. This big rub. Now, obviously it's historical, and I'm not even, there's no way I could hunt this. Even hunting on the ground, I couldn't get into here, even if I wanted to. But it does seem like it's all going to and from where I do plan to hunt. And I can see a huge trail moving through right in here, right here over my shoulder. That moves all the way through there, and it's just moving through this area. Now that little rub that I showed was right here, huge movement area right here. Right behind me is the area I just came out of there with that good sized rub. And now I'm just walking down a drainage, and it's littered with tracks. It's about waist wide, and right here it's gonna V off. It V's off over my shoulder that way and this way. Now going this way is to the south side of the pond, which also goes to the river, which is going to be my access, and there's a big scrape right there that I know of. And then this way heads to the north side of the pond. The reason I'm walking this way, which is not the way I'm going to access at all, but I already have a tree planned that I think I'm going to hunt out of, and I want to confirm summer sign for early season, and I want to move in the direction that I think the deer are going to move. It's extremely important that you know what the deer are going to see when they're coming to you. Now, the bedding that I have back in there, maybe 100 yards or so, I'll use the information of them bedding close to the pond for how I set up. I'm actually going to make a lap around this pond down low and walk through this muck. I want to see how big of tracks are moving in here to get a drink, and if there's just a specific spot that big tracks are coming to get drinks, or if it matters at all. I'm anticipating that the big tracks are going to be on this north side here. It's the northeast side, because then they're coming from predominant wind coming to the water, and if they're coming in here consistently and a bunch of tracks, well, I want to be right over them and get that best shot opportunity that I can. So you can see the camera right there. Something I like to do is set my phone up in line with the camera and just take a couple still photos and see what it'll be catching in its view. Just helps. Every once in a while you set a camera and you think it's good from the angle down here, but you can't see what it's going to take back behind you photo wise, stuff like that. So I like to see, in case something is right here in front of the camera, what it's also catching behind it when it's triggered. Now, like I said, you always make a lap around the pond. I thought I went far enough. I did not. because I found this trail cutting through there, and there are big tracks coming down to the pond here. And if you see, I've got that entire bank, and I like that a lot more. Found a bed right here. This is kind of the point of the pond. I mean, right there you can see the break. This is the south side of it. Now, from that bed, there's a trail that comes south towards the river. I'm just gonna get on it, follow it. I'm anticipating it goes through a little bit of thick stuff right here. Ouch. Nothing's coming through there without me hearing it. I'm just gonna work my way to the river now and work my way out. I should find a scrape here pretty soon, which is the whole reason I came back here, because I want to put a camera over it on public where I can't cut anything. Zip ties. Camera is straight in front of me, and the scrape is right there, and it's taking a picture at about that angle. So this branch is in my way. I'm going to zip tie it and get it out of the way. This is actually a sandy spot in the river, and it's moving pretty slow. I'd have to watch the rain and make sure we're not getting much rain, just like it's been. I just got some water up in my boot. It's about a little under knee high right now, but if I can access it through here, ooh, that was cold. If I can access it this way, that'll be a very, very good way to get in without alerting anything.